Boop, boop, boop. And we're live. Hello, hello, hello. And welcome back to Persona 4 Ultimax. We had... Oh, it would help if I unmuted the game. And today, I am fairly certain we'll be clearing up the storyline for the Persona 4 Arena storyline anyway. Still got episode P4 to do. And, okay, so we've got Aigis' story to finish off, the cliffhanger, and we've got Elizabeth's story now unlocked. I don't know why you and Chie's have yellow clears rather than red clears. So maybe there's something else will be unlocked after we do Elizabeth's, possibly? I'm not quite sure why Chie would be connected to any of that though. I can see Narukami because he's the protagonist of Persona 4. But anyway, we'll find out soon enough, I'm sure. We've 92% complete the story, 8% left. So let's get into Aigis' epilogue. From the cliffhanger. It's time to beat up Labris again.
Labris?
Hello, Labris. Labris murmurs her name to herself. Her head hangs lifelessly as she stares at her mechanical limbs. The shock slowly drains from her pale face, replaced with bitter comprehension. Across from us, the shadow glares at me with a piercing, menacing stare.
Why? You can't be!
Oh.
I am the same as you.
Okay, yeah, this is... I'm interested to see how this...
Shadow suppression weapon. Aigis.
I'm interested to see how this goes.
I am the model that came after you.
Are you here to seize her?
I won't let you! Not when I'm almost free.
The shadow turns to its double and cries out impatiently.
Hello, Labris. Or do you want to be caught and locked in a cramped little box again?
Her eyes wander in search of something to settle on, and eventually fixate on Yosuke. But he is still in shock, unable to speak in the heat of the moment. That moment of silence is enough to shatter any hope of a peaceful resolution. Labris smiles lifelessly and hangs her head.
No, don't get me wrong. I was just a little surprised.
No, it's okay. That's how a normal person would react.
Her sad, weak voice makes my heart ache.
I won't let you take her back. I will gain my freedom, whatever it takes!
Oh. Suddenly, the shadow fires its arm out. A long chain trails from behind it, wrapping itself around Labris many times over. Oh. Labris being kidnapped again. The shadow begins to pull her in with its winch. Unable to struggle, Labris is dragged over to her captor, who lifts her over its shoulder. The shadow then runs full speed out of the announcement room. It fled with such explosive velocity that it is hard to believe it was carrying its own weight.
Wait!
Oh, and we're off after it. Excuse me. I give chase. It is unfortunate that I cannot explain the situation to Yosuke-san, but I have no choice. I exit into the hallway and see the shadow make for the stairway leading upwards. This is the top floor, so it must be heading for the roof. Oh, this is new. I climb to the landing and take the stairway 2 steps at a time before throwing open the door. But what I find there is not what one would expect to see on the roof of a building. It is best described as a TV studio. The spotlights hanging from the scaffolding, the cameras here and there. Up until now, no matter how warped things got, they still looked like part of a school. But not here. What is this place? Just then, the door behind me slams open again, and a boy comes running out, breathing hard. It is Yosuke-san. I am perplexed. Why did he chase after us? There is no one here who would warrant leaving his friend Rise-san's side. Suddenly, the area is shrouded in a menacing aura, and a shadow appears. It is still carrying Labris over its shoulder. Labris shouldn't be unconscious, but she isn't showing any sign of resistance.
Persistent pests. Too bad for you.
We've been caught in an arena.
The Grand Prix is still on. Have fun wasting time fighting each other.
Hey, wait! Ow, whoa!
Invisible wall. As soon as Yosuke-san turns around to give chase, he runs up against something. I try stretching out my hand. Just as I thought, there's an invisible wall. Though it wasn't here when I climbed up the stairs. The only door back into the school is the one beyond the wall. In other words, we are trapped. Yosuke-san hangs his head in shame and looks at me
I
awkwardly.
guess this means we have to fight. Sorry, I feel like I got in your way.
I came here without thinking and fell right into the enemy's trap. I'm sure that's what he's thinking. But as I see it, it isn't Yosuke-san who should be
I
apologizing.
am also sorry for all this.
Huh?
We are the ones ultimately responsible for this incident.
Oh yeah.
I am sorry to have dragged you all into it.
Yosuke, I forget sometimes that, yeah, not every character is clued into the situation
If your
in each of
friends
these
are
ones.
safe, I would suggest you evacuate at once. But in these circumstances, I must go after her.
There's no need for you to take the blame. I mean, I feel the same about wanting to go after her.
Why? I'm not sure this concerns you.
I promised I'd protect her. But I couldn't back her up when she needed me the most. So, like, I want to apologize and actually keep my promise this time. I feel like I can't leave her alone right now.
In his eyes, I could see a glimmer of
I
determination.
think I should explain certain things to you. I'm not authorized to disclose everything, but
Oh, explanation time. I review the important parts for him. That personas and shadows are universal. That they have existed since ancient times. That there are probably little known battles and pacts all over the world to harness their powers. That I have experience in one such battle, and was in fact created for that purpose. I am a weapon given a heart, in order to use a persona. I explained that Labris was a prototype, long sealed away, one that was lost during a recent incident. Yosuke-san doesn't seem to swallow all of it, but he listens attentively nonetheless.
There are shadows outside the TV too? Who would have thought?
I was surprised as well to find out that a world like this was accessible through televisions.
I suppose a Teddy can emerge
Believe
from
me,
TV
we were
and be
pretty
fine.
shocked last year too.
I look straight into the boy's eyes without laughing at his attempt to lighten the mood. Only the winner can leave. So we must fight. There's no ignoring that cold fact. I suspect the Shadow set this up to buy time. We don't have a moment to waste. I don't say anything, but Yosuke-san seems to get the picture.
Can you tell me something? What's going to happen to Labris once you catch her?
I cannot answer that.
Yeah, I thought so. You did say that she was a weapon after all. Not really surprised you can't talk about it with outsiders.
Is that all? I must go get her back.
Is that all? Are we
If
done?
you cooperate with me, I am sure I can knock you out painlessly.
In response to my blunt suggestion, a wry smile appears on Yosuke-san's face. However, his eyes still have that gleam.
Sorry, but I can't back down.
Oh. Hello,
Are
Jiraiya.
you really going to fight me? Not to boast, but you would challenge a living weapon?
She said she wanted to be free. Hey, I made her a promise. I want to see it through. I guess you could say it's a guy pride thing?
He jokes about it, but there is resolve behind his words. He will not back down. What he is really saying is this. My feelings for Lapras are as strong as yours. I smile inwardly, though it does not show on my
I
face.
understand. I accept your challenge.
Good old Yosuke. But I don't think regardless it was necessarily a good idea to challenge Lapras. Alrighty. Let's see how this goes.
Final. Fight.
Oh, hello.
Just getting started. Just getting started.
Persona! Persona impact! No crap!
Just getting started. And stay down.
Heavy damage! I summon you! Persona!
No crap. Just getting started.
Damage! Heavy damage! Slash!
Just getting
There we go.
Alright.
Fire!
Tend to the move.
Oh,
There's some confusion.
ow, don't like
Blood
confusion.
damage! Drag it out! Severe impact! Severe impact! Severe impact
Ow.
damage! Sheesh!
Get some.
Ow.
Blood damage! Whoa! Back! Persona! Right!
No crap.
Sheesh! Ejected!
Oh,
Here!
Persona.
rejected.
Damage! Back! I failed!
No crap. Sheesh.
Come on. Oh, no good. No good.
Blood damage! Final sequence!
Oh. You nearly missed that one.
Numbers set! Maximum charge! Fire!
There we go.
I'm overheated!
Another bookmark. Well, Yosuke kind of gave me the win at the end there. Yosuke-san smiled sheepishly at me from the floor.
I had a feeling I didn't have a chance against a pro like you. Ow. You sure are strong, Aigis-san.
Are you alright?
He waves his hand to show that he is fine. He should be exhausted. Perhaps the male pride prevents him from admitting it.
Looks like I'll be staying behind.
I will do what I can to not force anything on my sister that she does not want.
Can you tell her that I wanted to apologize to her too? Of course, I'll tell her myself once this is all over, but... Oh, and one more thing. Tell her we can have a party when this is all over.
Yosuke-san,
Can we have a
You're
party?
invited too, of course.
My heart is warmed. He's not just worried about Lapras' safety. He's worried about her heart. I nod vigorously.
yes, I will make sure to tell her. Though, we are not capable of eating food. Will that be a problem?
Huh? Really? Nah, it's no problem at
It
all.
saves on the catering.
Thank you.
I will save Lapras from this world, from her cell of solitude. There are people in the outside world who accept us as allies. Some of them consider us friends. I am happy that hope is so close
Be
by.
careful. That shadow looked pretty strong.
I will. Please stay safe.
As he cheers me on from behind, I leave the roof. And back to the announcement room for the fight against Asterius. As soon as I re-enter the school, I can sense the shadow's presence without needing to scan for it. I follow the presence back to the announcement room. What could be waiting for me this time? I slowly open the door, wary of an attack. But the room is quiet. No ambush comes. Oh. Where's she hiding? I step inside. Nope, both versions of Lapras are facing each other further into the room. I quickly step between the two, shielding Lapras from her shadow. But the shadow does not seem alarmed. It spins its axe idly.
You're late. I had a feeling you'd be the one to come. Was Yosuke-kun a tough opponent?
As it finishes the sentence, its axe stops. I brace myself in anticipation of an attack. But the shadow simply smiles brutally.
Just as you thought. The real party begins now.
Just as the words sink in, I hear a sound simultaneously. The heavy sound of the air being sliced behind me. Oh. I lunge to the left solely on reflexes. Why is normal Labras attacking us? A battle axe slams into the ground where I had been only milliseconds ago.
What? Sister!
Oh, so close.
Shock spreads across my face. Labras takes a combat stance with her battle axe, her wet eyes focused on me. He has chosen to fight for the Unreal School.
Is this what you really want? What else is there for me?
Labras sounds resigned in her reply. I have no answer for her. My heart aches as if it was cut by a razor.
It's finally come to this. Sister versus sister. Let the battle begin!
It's Labras. This clearly isn't what Labras wants. The shadow jeers at me with delight. I do not have the presence of mind to deliver a rejoinder. The battle about to play out is straight from the worst case scenario I had envisioned. The very person I hoped to save. My sister. I must defeat her with my own hands. Oh. Okay, we're not fighting Asterius first, we're fighting normal Labras. Okay.
Finally.
Oh. There we go.
I summon you, strike! Severe hit! Move down! Please hit! Move down! I summon you!
There we go.
Barrier mode, unlock! Go! Please hit! Please hit! Move down! Move down! Please hit!
Okay.
Anti-air!
I need to get better at...
Upward! Upward!
There we go. Never mind.
Barrier mode!
Wasn't too bad. Oh. I should not easy on Aigis mentally. Labras loses her strength and falls to her knees.
Why? Why can't I stay like this?
The hope she risked so much to gain has been shattered. She mutters piteously as she falls. She is not the only one who wants to collapse. I never imagined this would be so painful. Every time my attacks connected, I felt as if I was tearing out a piece of my heart. This unwanted exchange of violence, ending in one of our destruction, leads to nothing but despair. Each time I felt that pain, the memories of Labras I saw in the classroom, those vivid images, made sense. The sterile, mechanical rooms that made up most of her visual memories. It must have been the facility where she was created. At that facility, Labras was forced to endure the same pain she is feeling now. In order to gather combat data, she was forced to destroy her sister models, even though they had hearts. Not just once or twice, but over and over and over. It's too much for my mind to immediately comprehend. Agitation spreads through me like a fever. I clutch my chest.
I knew that you couldn't beat her.
The shadow, in contrast, is completely nonchalant.
But wow, you really didn't have any qualms about attacking her. Deep down, you must really want to make them suffer, don't you?
This is
You
gonna
want
hurt.
them to go through
Yeah,
what
this
you
one's
want.
definitely gonna get to Labras.
No! You want the everyday boys and girls to experience what you had to go through,
I mean, I don't think Aigis is one of the everyday boys and girls.
right? That's why we're in a school having a fighting tournament. You want to see close friends fight for their lives against each other. Because if they do that, then they might understand. You want to make them understand.
Excuse me?
That ain't true! But it was no use. Even another living weapon can't understand you. It's alright though. You don't have to worry about that anymore. I'll take care of everything from here. I'll destroy anyone who doesn't understand you and comes to get in your way. Just like you once did. Please stop! That's all a lie! You're not me!
There it is.
Finally! You finally said it! I'm finally free!
The shadow's eyes start to glow, full of life. It isn't just a change in its attitude. Its power seems to actually be rising. Did something in its conversation with Labrys catalyze this change? Too late it hits me. What did the shadow want with Labrys? It was trying to buy time, which meant it needed something from her.
It's time for the true star to take the stage!
Oh, excuse me. Its shout shakes the air. As if in response to the cry, the room begins to warp. The view beyond the window shimmers ominously. This might be the last time we see it, so I think let the cutscene play again.
Yes! The power!
Here we go. Hello, Asterius. A giant incinerator appears from the darkness. Countless chassis are falling in to be cruelly destroyed. Illuminated by the blood-red light of the flames, the shadow reveals its true self. Seeing Labrys' look-alike commanding a giant beast behind it brings to mind the summoning of a persona. I run over to Labrys and stand her listless body up.
I won't be needing that trash anymore.
Oh. It seems that the shadow has accomplished its goal with Labrys. I was used, forced to fight my sister for this purpose. I clench my teeth at my own slowness to comprehend.
Now, let's get started.
This isn't just for Labrys. This is the enemy, the fate of anyone not human.
It seems that I must take responsibility for this.
Oh. Here we go. Now, is Asterius going to cause many problems? Shadow Labrys. Should be fairly used to fighting Shadow Labrys at this stage.
Finally.
Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Stop. Oh, where's the stairs gone? There we go. That didn't go too badly. Never save. The monster's form melts away as it disperses like fog. Only a silhouette, similar to Labrys', remains. It falls to its knees, having no will to resist anymore.
I somehow pulled through.
I turn to face the real Labrys.
Are you all right?
She is conscious and seems to have no major damage. All that remains to be tested is her will.
Please listen. I have a message for you. From Yosuke-san. He said that he is sorry for promising to help you and being unable to support you when you needed it most. Additionally, he said that he would be throwing a party later. You are invited, of course.
You're lying.
If that is what you think, you can ask him yourself later. Now please, stand up.
I lend her my shoulder and prop her up. She follows my lead, but her legs are still shaking.
How come this happened? I didn't want to hurt anyone or make them suffer.
I know. That was a shadow going berserk. Not everything it said reflects your true feelings. I had a similar experience, actually. My other
That's
self
something we
was
haven't
on the
fought
verge of
Shadow
going
Aigis
berserk.
yet.
It told me there was an innate contradiction in having a heart, but not being human, preventing me from truly protecting others.
Wasn't that tough to listen to?
Yes, of course.
Then how can you stand it? How are you still acting like everything's fine?
I'm fine right now, but I'm sure I will suffer that pain again someday. Very probably, as long as I am myself, It will never go away as long as I live.
It won't? Then what can I do but give up? What am I supposed to do?
We'll be all right, as long as we have friends.
Lapras opens her eyes
It
wide.
was when you were alone that you suffered most. I'm sure of it.
Friendship to save the day
If you do
again.
not give up on reaching out to others, you will surely find someone who understands. Or maybe...
Oh. As I say this, I can hear voices from outside. They are calling our names. The voices grow closer and closer, and eventually one of the doors fly open.
Hey! There you are! Thank goodness!
Are
Yay!
you two okay?
You seem to have the matter in hand.
Kanji-san and Rise-san arrive shortly after. Now that the shadow has been defeated, the invisible walls strapping them have disappeared. There are some faces new to me as well. As I recall from the video, they are Yu Narukami-san and Yukiko Amagi-san. There was also a costume that looked like General Teddy. This must be the real Teddy that Chie-san mentioned. The resemblance is strong, but this one is so charming it's hard to hate him. Everyone has considerate words for Lapras. My heart is filled with warmth. They could have ignored us outsiders and escaped, but they didn't. They were truly worried about us and came running. All of them. I addressed Lapras, who was looking back and forth between me and them with a perplexed look.
It might be more accurate to say that those who understand you are already here. Of course, I want to understand you as well. Please talk to me whenever you want. Tell me about your memories, even if you have to take them one at a time.
Lapras sinks deep in thought, then looks at me again. I nod silently. He slowly starts walking and steps in front of the shadow, who stands as quietly as the real one at the other end of the
You
room.
were right. I was always alone, so I had no one to talk to, no matter how much it hurt. And I went and blamed that on them.
And the persona awakening again. I'm gonna let these ones play this time because I don't know what Elizabeth's story is gonna be like, so this might be the last chance we see them.
You all this time. I was the one who left you all alone. No, you are me after all.
There it is. Ariadne.
This is my persona.
So, time for Lapras to get hacked again.
This reminds me of us from last year.
Yeah, it's the same thing. She's really no different from us.
Yosuke-san and the others smile. To acknowledge one's weakness in front of others. They must have earned their personas through the same ordeal. I can see now why their bond is so strong. The tension in the air evaporates. Just as Labras's expression softens, a familiar voice comes from behind.
Is that Labras?
Oh, hello, Mitsuru. Everyone turns to look at the newcomer.
Mitsuru-san, Akihiko-san,
and Akihiko
you're
as well.
all right.
Of course we are.
Of course he is. I run toward them. Neither of them appear to be injured. I notice that they aren't surprised to see Yosuke-san and the others. They must already be aware of the situation. On the other hand, everyone else is surprised.
Who are these people and what the hell are they wearing?
Oh man, a dude storming across the battlefield in just a cape? I am all about that.
I'd say you've got good taste.
Seriously?
No, I need to see more of Chie and Akihiko going on an adventure together somewhere. Lapras grabs weakly at my arm.
Don't worry.
I smile and nod. She still bites her lip in anxiety, but she is no longer afraid of everything.
You're Labris, correct?
Labris simply nods in response to Mitsuru-san's question as she walks up. There's a moment of silence. Mitsuru-san's sigh of relief breaks it.
I'm glad you're safe.
Labris smiles back awkwardly. The look on her face helps dispel the tension in Yosuke-san and his friends. Mitsuru-san notices this as well. I step forward alongside Mitsuru-san to introduce ourselves and show our appreciation. It seems they have never met a Persona user who didn't awaken in the TV world. We spend some time discussing our respective circumstances. Ooh. Hetty leads us back to the roof. They say that this was the place they used to enter and exit the world. Labris, who still doesn't quite understand that she is in the TV, cocks her head in bewilderment. Yosuke-san and his friends gather around her and explain everything. She is shocked at first, but as she grows accustomed to the idea, she begins laughing. Relieved, I leave Labris to them. I approach Mitsuru and Akihiko-san. I relate to them all the information I have gathered on this case so far. I tell them that the tournament's host was Labris' shadow, which had emerged from her, and that Labris may have not been stolen, but that she may have escaped on her own. She has the ability to manipulate people's senses. That would explain the signs of mental interference found on the hijackers. We were able to discover Inaba through our research. Perhaps she used the same methods. It would have taken time, but she was sealed away for over 10 years. Although she was caged, it is not clear whether she was conscious or not during that period. She had more than enough time. Mitsuru-san and Akihiko-san show no surprise, but they do let out a long sigh. In contrast to Mitsuru-san, who is lost in thought, Akihiko-san goes to get an answer straight from the source. Except we already know that this isn't the case from all the other routes. Labris startles when he taps her shoulder.
So when did you actually awaken?
Akihiko-san's question is blunt, but Labris handles it calmly, knowing that it is the natural thing to ask.
No, I can't remember.
She is being honest. She had used her ability on herself. Not even she knew what she really was. But Akihiko-san seems skeptical. Having no memory of it also means that she is unable to deny it.
Please, Mitsuru-san. Can you be lenient with her?
Mitsuru-san folds her arms and thinks. I know she is in a difficult position. Though Labris may have a heart, it does not make her human. He is a weapon with dangerous capabilities. Mitsuru-san cannot decide based on her personality alone what measures to take. Especially now that we are affiliated with the police. We have to set an example.
Yeah, would you, please?
Oh,
Yosuke-kun.
I know I'm asking without knowing the whole story here, but please don't lock her up again.
even his friends seem surprised by his outburst. But soon enough, they are all giving Mitsuru-san the same pleading look. Mitsuru-san winces before giving a wry smile. Does she feel like she's being made out to be the bad guy again?
Well, I hadn't intended to seal her away again to begin with.
Mitsuru-san!
Seriously? Did you hear that?
It should be a walk in the park compared to the challenge of sending Aigis to school.
He has no intention of locking her away. The smile on Mitsuru-san's face confirms that much.
Thank you so much.
How about if we go outside? This isn't really the place to stand around and chat.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it was a hell of a way to start off a holiday, but at least it's over. Man, why'd that shadow have to pick our school and us of all people?
Time for things to happen. Mitsuru-san and Akihiko-san freeze.
That is odd now that you mention it.
Okay, this is like completely new discussion.
I was told this place takes its shape from a person's memories. Why would it become this high school?
I had picked up on that incongruity as well. Putting aside that Inaba was chosen as the escape destination, why was a specific school so carefully recreated? I also have my doubts about Labris's power. Strictly speaking, it doesn't rob one's sanity. What her power really does is cloud one's senses with illusions.
Yep.
I'm not sure that would have been enough to control those hijackers so completely.
Hey, Labris.
Oh, yeah, Labris I don't think is going to respond this time. Akihiko-san calls out to Labris again. Yep. Here's the mastermind. The instant he puts his hand on her shoulder, she twitches.
Hey, what's the matter?
Labras abruptly leaps backwards. Everyone is baffled to see her white body flying over their heads.
She's...
Stay back, everyone!
Akihiko-san is the first to realize the danger and yells a warning to the others.
Sister?
Yep. Labras stands there motionlessly. Slowly, her right hand reaches for the battle axe on her back. Tension fills the air.
No! Why?
The blade of the axe is pointed towards me. I do not comprehend. What's going on? As I stand there confused, Labras lowers her stance, readying herself for battle. I open my mouth to try to persuade her, but I can't. There is no time. Labras now has the use of her persona. He will be stronger than before. If I don't focus on counterattacking, I'll lose. I clench my jaw and hold in the despair that threatens to overwhelm me. I must concentrate on the problem at hand. Oh, no discussion, straight to battle. As the interactions with the Mastermind were a bit different in the Persona 3 character routes so far, haven't they? This was all followed up by a... Yeah, rather than talking through Labras, the Mastermind always showed up as a... Oh. Ow. I think it's better at doing the... Oh, there we go. There we go. Bookmark. So I'm guessing this does mean we're going to have to fight Shadow Aigis after this. Wait, did we already fight Shadow Aigis? I know we met Shadow Aigis, but I don't know. Can't remember if we battled or not. That was when Elizabeth showed up. Labras falls to the ground with a thud.
Labras!
I try to run to her, but I stop when I hear an unearthly
You
voice.
succeeded in repulsing it yet again. Very unexpected.
Everyone takes a defensive stance and looks around.
What is this? I'm not getting a good feeling about this.
Yep.
It's certainly an ominous presence. But that voice...
Is that... my voice?
Yes, it is. Before I can react, an unnatural-looking shadow, a clump of darkness thick as a pool of blood, forms next to Labras. Our true enemy rises up from the sludge. It is a sight I will never forget.
No. Aigis-san's shadow?
To think you'd fight back this fiercely. No wonder you once drove back a god. Yes, I want them even more now.
Want them? What does that mean?
Yosuke-san lashes out at the enemy, but it ignores him and continues talking.
Sadly, it seems things won't be going according to plan this time. But I'll make use of what tools I have to the very end. This is my last chance. No, more like a marvelous entertainment.
Regardless of whose shadow it is, the dialogue is more always the same. Instead of answering, it raises its right hand over Labras.
Stand, my puppet.
Labras stands up, as if being pulled by strings.
Is it controlling her?
Sister!
Oh, she doesn't answer. Her face is a blank stare and her shoulders hang unnaturally. She is every inch its puppet. Confused, I look again at the enemy. Is that my shadow? It looks like me, but its voice, its powers, they are all so different from mine. But before I can come to a conclusion, The enemy uses Labrys to make its next
This
move.
form is exhausted from constant battle and will be useless as an asset. But unless you destroy it, it will keep rising up and attacking you all. What will you do?
Fight Shadow Aigis? With the battle axe in hand, Labrys dashes forward without warning. Oh, this is where Fuka gets involved, isn't it? Her attack is much more forceful than in the last battle. Even with all my strength, I am pushed back.
Oh crap! If this keeps up...
Let's do this! Takemika!
Wait! Don't interfere!
What?
Please!
No summoning personas, please. I clench my teeth. Labrys is under that thing's control and ignoring her own limits. She is already damaged and exhausted from the previous battle. If we all attack, we might be able to contain her, but she could be destroyed in the process.
Now, may you suffer and curse your fate. Relinquish your personas.
Relinquish?
Personas and shadows are one and the same. If I poison your hearts, I can recruit shadows with unparalleled
Still
strength.
curious to find
Wait,
out.
what? You mean turn our personas back to shadows?
The heart is frail. Its weaknesses are never fully vanquished. Given the opportunity, it can betray you and return to darkness. Old wounds that you thought you had overcome, opened once again. You almost let go of your hearts, your personas.
Still curious to find out who
This
the
one's
mastermind
desire
is
to
and
make people suffer was perfectly suited for such a plan.
Plan?
You caused all this to gather strong shadows?
You bastard. Who are you?
what was some
You
what
had
was
best hurry and decide who will be destroyed, this
What's the-
shell or the lot of you.
what's the motivation for building an army of elite shadows? Labrys flies through the air again and unleashes a full force attack. I am forced to one knee. If she attacks again, but just when I am sure it's over, something happens.
Sorry, but this show is over.
Oh. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Mitsuru-san stand straight up. Oh, there we go. Suddenly, the menacing aura surrounding Labrys is dispelled like magic.
What?
For the first time, the enemy seems shocked. Freed from the spell, Labrys falls to the ground.
Sister!
I run to her and cradle her in my arms. What was that? Mitsuru-san smiles defiantly and glances up to the
Looks
sky.
like you made it in the nick of time. You saved us, Yamagishi.
Oh. An answering voice echoes in my head. That soft but extremely reassuring voice.
Are you all okay? Fuka-san?
There we go. Fuka Yamagishi-san. She is a fellow ally who helped us overcome the challenges we faced in the past. I cannot help but smile with surprise and joy.
So you had a third assistant.
Ooh, what a soothing voice! My Teddy senses are telling me that this is a real cutie
Oh, Teddy.
pie.
Is this like Rise-chan's persona? Wait, where is she?
This feeling. What the?
Rise-san opens her eyes and looks up.
Voice. It's not coming from in here. Whoever it is out there.
Seriously? She can use hers in the real world? That's amazing.
Even before I can ask, Fuka-san tells me what I want to know.
Aigis, the enemy is just mimicking your appearance. It's not actually a part of you.
Very impressive to guess correctly from such a long distance away.
Mitsuru-san stares at the enemy in shock. We hear Fuka-san's words as if she is speaking, but technically there is no sound. She transmits her voice directly into people's minds. Other people should hear nothing. Okay, this is new information. Yet the enemy is responding to her. I raise my guard in spite of myself, but there is no fear in me. My doubts about the enemy, my hesitation, are gone. My heart starts to burn. What is this? I've never felt this heated emotion running through my body before.
You must be the one behind all this.
Oh.
You stole
Music
Labrys and
building
threw
as
her
well.
into a TV. You were after Persona users from the start. That's why you chose this school and tampered with Labrys' memories. And you just demonstrated how you controlled those hijackers.
So this must be the real puppet master.
Then, that voice who tried to dissuade me back in that classroom.
You're quite slow for a machine. Can't you tell by looking at me who that was?
So that wasn't something my heart saw, but just a malicious whisper. The fire in my heart is stoked higher, and I make a fist without realizing it. I thought this entire incident was just an unfortunate event caused by my sister's suffering, but her pain was all orchestrated by someone. This isn't her tragedy. Someone saw to it that this would happen. And not just Talabris. Whoever did this tried to manipulate the pain in my heart too, by posing as my shadow. And to top it off, the culprit posed as everyone here to make them distrust each other, reopening old wounds. This was all an evil plan. I am not human, but because of that, I hold the hearts and bonds of others to be sacred. They saved me. They keep me going now. And yet, it tested those bonds and used our anguish for its own purpose. Our hearts were nothing but tools to it. Tools to hurt others. I see. I get it now. This roiling, violent surge of emotion. This shaking, burning, erupting sensation. I realize that this is a type of emotion which can best be described in a single word. This is fury.
Are you angry?
Okay.
Alright, I'll play along. The show must go on, right?
Angry
You've gone
Aigis.
too far.
Here we go. Aigis versus Aigis.
Finally. Fight!
Here we go. Hello. We can bomb landmines on people? Ow. A little too close. Oh! There were a lot of attacks here that I didn't realize Aigis had. Ow. Deep. Oh, good. There we go.
Palladian numbers set. Maximum charge. Fire.
We're gonna finish this. We're gonna finish it well.
I'm overheated.
This thing shaped like me falls to the ground on its knees. But it gets right back up with an awkward jerking motion and lets out an insane laugh. The smile on its face, contrasted with its damaged limbs, has the eeriness of a clown.
This is fine with me. Good enough for my purposes that I confirmed you have enough power to meet my expectations.
Good enough, my ass.
Those are the words of a sore loser.
This is only a temporary form. I doubted there'd be any meaning in changing my appearance. But sure enough, it made for a very enjoyable game.
I don't think they're being a sore
All that
loser.
irritates me is having to feign cooperation with that foolish human until I obtain the one true vessel.
That foolish human. An odd choice of words. It would seem to imply not only that it is not human, but also that it is working with a human to carry out its
I will
crimes.
see you in another guise next time.
Okay, so
Just wait until
I've been
then.
wondering who it is, but now I need to wonder what it is. It lets out a raucous laugh in my face. After that, it slowly fades away, dissipating into the air.
Yamagishi!
Mitsuru-san quickly calls out. However,
The reading disappeared. It didn't move. It just vanished.
Back to square one again.
oh dear. Akihiko-san lets out a heavy sigh.
Sheesh. It even had to exit on a lame, evil laugh.
Another guise, huh?
Don't even think about coming around here again!
Should we put up some talismans? I've got a lot left over from when we were putting them up in our inn.
Well, even if it shows up again, it'll get double the pain we gave it this time.
Who could it be, though? How did it know about our personas?
Yeah, that's something. That's a question that still hasn't been
That
answered.
aside, it sure had a sneaky way of doing things. This is twice I've been kidnapped into the TV world, you know. Twice!
Yeah, their irritation is obvious, and it's only natural. They were toyed with too. They do not take Labras's treatment well. But I cannot encourage them to settle the score. Akihiko-san apparently thinks the same thing.
Don't worry about it. We'll handle things from here.
Wait, but it kinda said it was still after
Yep.
us.
Of course, you should be aware that the enemy is out there. Akihiko only means that there is no need to abandon your lives to pursue it. We will do our best to ensure that no harm comes to you. That is, after all, our duty.
But
Guys, let's leave this to them.
You can.
are you serious?
They're right that we need to go back for now. You look beat.
Yu-san, aware of their situation, speaks out. Perhaps he senses our dilemma.
I'm sorry, everyone.
Is Aigis going to pick up on the fact that they're, they have their own plans? He nods and looks at Yosuke-san, who reluctantly gives up. Their ability to communicate through eye contact only proves the strength of their bond.
Alrighty, attention,
Oh, no,
please.
Aigis doesn't figure
the
it out.
trip doesn't end until we get out of the TV.
Dude, we were in the middle of a conversation. What's this about a trip? You really gave us a scare disappearing like that. And this isn't the first time either.
Yeah.
It's not my fault. Or should I actually sponsor the next Miss Inaba?
Don't even think about it.
Chie-san's fist is still shaken with anger after impacting Teddy at full strength. There are times when you should give it your all because it's your friend. How beautiful friendship is. I comprehend. Just pound your friend in the back of the head and just beautiful friendship. After everyone calms down, we finally move on to the main subject. We all gathered on this roof in order to leave this world. After getting everyone's attention, Teddy makes a few narcissistic remarks and clicks his heels. Then, like a magic trick at a party, some old TVs appear in a puff of smoke.
What are you doing with this ancient TV? Hang on, where'd you even get this?
It's Teddy Vision.
It's a Teddy Vision.
There we go.
You can get out from here.
This TV is our escape route? Can we really fit inside?
Ooh, are you a little too front-loaded?
Hello
to
again,
fit?
Teddy.
In that case, I wouldn't mind helping you squeeze through.
You're even worse than before, you know
Yeah,
that?
he is a bit. Chie-san and Yosuke-san jump in without hesitation, showing how used to it they are. Seeing that, Akihiko-san and Mitsuru-san shrug and follow suit. Labra stares as everyone gets sucked into the TV, one by one, but she doesn't look scared. Her eyes are actually bright as she glances this way. I can't help but smile at that. She doesn't need my permission to do anything. I tell her to go ahead, and she dives in head first with a giant grin. Although... Oh. Just as I thought, her wings don't fit and she gets caught on the screen. Oh. I burst into laughter to see her legs sticking out of the TV, kicking wildly. I take off the unit on her back and she instantly gets sucked into the TV. I wonder if she landed safely. That's the last one left. I turn around and take a final look. It doesn't feel like it, but it's only been a few hours since we entered the TV, and only 3 days since the hijacking. It was a horrible nightmare, but at the same time, I met some good people. But most importantly, it isn't over. The true test may still be to come. I push my toes in and slip into the TV. Everyone made it back out safely. So, were you able to get Labras's wings fitted through, or does she just not have them? When we return to the real world, I am surprised to find myself in Jeunesse, a large department store. Hello, I have never seen Mitsuru sound so flustered. Even she could not have expected to emerge into the most crowded place in town, from a display TV at that. But to make it back to the limousine, we have no choice but to walk through the store. Mitsuru-san in her skin-tight suit, Akihiko-san, mostly naked except for his cape, me with my mechanical parts exposed, and Labras with her axe, or her wings, I suppose. Not to mention Teddy. Rise-san and Naoto-san are both public figures. One is an idol, and the other is a detective. We make quite an outlandish procession. Considering the nature of our operations, I hope to avoid having my picture taken with phone cameras. However, as we walk along, I soon find that my fear of cameras is baseless. In fact, it is not cameras we need to worry about at all. It is the police. Okay. I find myself anxious in this completely unexpected situation. An arrest would mean disgrace as an unofficial unit. And I'm sure Yosuke-san and the others would like to avoid the inside of Juvenile Hall. It wouldn't be the... Everyone hastily agrees with each other and takes off at full speed. It wouldn't be the first time Yosuke and you have nearly ended up in trouble with the police. I can hear Yosuke-san and Chie-san loudly complaining about the unfairness of the world. Mitsuru-san and Akihiko-san exchange fearless smiles, though cold sweat is streaming down both their faces. Teddy and Lapras seem like they're having fun. I don't think they understand the situation. Yu-san and Yukiko-san run without a word, like determined athletes. Kanji-san tries to turn and fight every so often, with Naoto-san having to stop him each time. Rise-san switches on her cell phone to find an alarming number of missed calls, which seems to be the bigger problem for her. That's probably all her manager calling her. What's his name? Inoue, I think his name was? In the end, our party with the Yasugami High School students concludes with a brief goodbye as we all scatter like birds. That night, we decide to stay the night in Inaba for a quick health checkup and review of the case. After finishing the necessary steps, we decide to take an early rest. The true culprit is still out there, and Lapras needs to get to a lab for proper maintenance. After 10 years of stasis, she was suddenly forced into a series of stressful battles. It would not be surprising if some of her parts are now malfunctioning. Considering the morning traffic, we should leave early in the day. Or so I suggest, but Lapras has other ideas. Oh. May 4th, the next day. Our car is parked near an intersection away from the main road. We are here to say goodbye to everyone. Lapras wanted it this way. I am happy that she wishes to see people again of her own will. On the side of the street, all the people we met yesterday are gathered to see Lapras one last time. They wished to say goodbye to her, but they had not expected us to contact them.
I asked if I could come see everyone. I wanted to give everyone a real goodbye.
What do you do next? Are you going back to that lab?
No, I decided I'm gonna work with Mitsuru-san and them.
Join in the Shadow
I want to
Operatives.
do my damnedest to catch whoever used me to bait a trap for you all.
Alright. Then I guess the party's on hold until after everything's really over. But hey, you should come see us again anyway.
You got it.
I'm sure you'll get the party eventually. Lapras shakes hands with each one of them. Even after we leave, Lapras keeps waving through the rear window. Waving and waving and waving. Waving and waving and even past the point where the human eye can no longer see her, she is still waving. After she has waved to her heart's content, she turns to see Fuka-san and I looking at her, and blushes. Fuka-san giggles.
I'm glad things went well. Oh, but first, it's good to see you again. This is becoming a real reunion.
Indeed. Things are going to heat up from now on.
Oh.
I must get back and reallocate my staff.
You're including me in there, right? Every opponent I made a mistake against on my journey, I made sure to go back and get a rematch. This'll be no different.
It should spur discussion amongst the staff again about working Yamagishi into our unit.
Oh.
Huh?
Oh wait, we're getting...
I'm still not sure about joining any special unit.
Oh, had she been attempted to recruit Fuka before? Flustered, Fuka-san starts wringing her hand. Glancing at the seat next to me, I notice Lapras looking at the sky through her window.
I didn't know the sky was so blue.
There is deep wistfulness in her
Back
voice.
at the lab, they only let me out at night. But this, I feel like I've seen it once before. That same bright blue sky.
The day she escaped? Once before. I recalled the memory relating to those words amongst the countless memories of Lapras awakened within me. The sea. That cerulean sky and lingering clouds. The emerald blue water. In my mind, I place Lapras at the scene. a white figure gazing from the edge of a pier. I know this scenery. For an instant it feels that I do. Like a knot slowly undoing itself, the lid to a box inside of me opens and something hot fills my chest. What had been only an image becomes a memory. Soon after, I understand everything. I know when Labra saw this scene. I know what she thought when she saw it. What she wished for.
Ah, I see now.
Noticing my murmur, Labras looks at me in wonder.
The scenery from your memory was the pier outside of the Yakushima laboratory.
Suddenly, Labras's eyes open in surprise.
The date was the final day before you were sealed. You made a heartfelt wish there. You hoped that your successor would make the same wish to see someone precious to them. And that meeting would take place at the pier. You dreamed that your successor would be able to go beyond that pier, to places you would never be able to see for yourself. And that even if your memories were deleted, your feelings would be passed on to the next generation.
Did Aigis fulfill that wish? Labras's ruby eyes begin to quiver. My words have unearthed her buried memory.
That's right. It was at that very place where I met the friends I have now. When I was searching for someone, I found myself naturally drawn there for some reason.
My memories return to a certain encounter. That day, on that very same pier, I met him. My dear friend.
I think it was because of your wish.
My wish? You mean the thing I wished for that day actually came true?
Indeed. It stayed alive for 10 years. Thank you, Labras. It's because of you that I found happiness.
Huh. I didn't know that. My desires. All the feelings I got from the others. They didn't go to waste.
Tears stream down Labras's cheeks. I stretch out a finger to wipe them off, but it is already wet from a drop on my own cheek. Mitsuru-san and Fuka-san smile at us gently. Fuka-san seems a bit teary-eyed herself.
I gotta thank you, too. You made me remember something important.
After wiping her tears, Labras looks at me, her eyes clear and determined.
Yes. Someone I have to find. I need to meet
she
her so
hasn't
I
forgotten.
can tell her something.
I'm about to extend my hand to shake hers, but it now seems too distant a gesture for us sisters. Instead, I pull her towards me and look at her face to face.
I'm sure you will. You're not alone anymore. We can search for her together.
Yeah. Thanks.
As the sun shines down, she gives me the biggest smile I've seen on her yet. Oh, that's the end. So only one left, though I do need to briefly... Oh, hello mouse. I need to take a brief break for a couple of minutes. Where is my overlay? I will be back very, very soon. Oh, and I'm back. Apologies about that. That's it. It was... Aigis' finale was kind of as interesting as I was expecting. It's nice to see as well, actually, them making that connection and addressing, like, Labrys' original wish again. Okay. Aigis is also a red clear. Why are they yellow? Doesn't mean I've missed something in those ones? But maybe I'll find out, because we're 95% complete. So this does imply to me that Elizabeth's is going to be shorter than the others. Within the endless darkness are scattered countless bright lights like a nebula. But those lights are not stars. Each one is the light of life, the gleam of man's souls. This is the world inside people's hearts. A place where every human's consciousness is connected and can be traced to their origin. Every memory since the dawn of man, and even those on the ladder to its evolution, slumbers here. Some think of this place as a sea, and they may be correct. Depending on how deep you go, you may see this world's endless landscapes in innumerable faces. Where I stand now is one of its furthest depths. A domain that has existed far beyond life became sentient, or even took form. Here, there is only the darkness of death and the radiance of life. I come here at times, for a very important objective. Oh. Suddenly, a patch of the darkness surges and undulates. The pitch-black substance swells with a tar-like consistency and quickly takes the shape of a giant arm.
My, it's rather stout compared to before.
Hello, Ward. Just as good and evil are products of man's heart, there is a negative force here in the sea of souls that tempts man to corruption and destruction. Though one person's malice may amount to little, there are billions of people in the world. It's actually common for monsters capable of destroying mankind to develop without anyone realizing. This is one of them. Though it was only an arm at first, it quickly develops into an enormous human-shaped torso. Even in this space where up and down are fluid, its resentment-filled roar causes the air to shake. The monster raises an enormous arm towards the heavens. Its destructive power could tear down mountains. But it suddenly stops. Something is blocking its movement. I am, to be precise. You might think I'm nowhere on the scene. In truth, even the monster may be thinking that. But I'd like to direct your attention to the fingertips at the end of this giant arm. Closer. Even closer than that. Keep going closer. All the way to the index finger.
There. Do you see me now? Have I forgotten to introduce myself?
Okay, we're
My name is Elizabeth.
Are you introducing yourself to the monster or to the audience? Are you breaking the fourth wall? I wouldn't be surprised. I fix my gaze upon the two lights that seem to be the monster's eyes, but it twists away trying to resist.
Do you wish to behold death that much?
I grab the monster's index finger, and in one motion I flip its immense body and throw it into the air. Oof. The monster cries out in agony and the area quakes again.
Oh dear. It seems it won't be easy for one of this size. I cannot damage the world of everyone's hearts, and I hesitate to make a scene in the real world either. Time for a change of scenery.
Oh. I open the elegant grimoire in my hand. A large blue magic circle forms behind the thrown monster, swallowing the gargantuan figure. I follow it in. Oh. Continual, turbulent streams of light and darkness flow past the monster and myself. Eventually, I speak up.
We will soon reach our destination.
Another magic circle appears in an altogether different kind of black void than the one we came from. The monster spat out there, and when it collides with the surface, a tremendous cloud of dust arises. I emerge from the magic circle second and rise into the air. On the horizon beyond the monster, I can see a deep blue sphere. Oh. On the moon. Yes, this is the moon.
Now, I had promised to show you death.
Oh dear.
Your fate is in the cards.
Hello, Thanatos, right? A figure appears behind me bearing several
The
coffins.
god of death, Thanatos. What do you think?
The light of the stars shines off its drawn sword and gleams bewitchingly.
Was it to your liking? Well then, farewell.
It flings the sword down at the monster's head. Against its fearsome size, the sword is barely larger than a needle. But the sword's merciless sharpness pierces far beyond the blade's length. The monster's body slices apart like wet paper. So this is what the Velvet Room attendants do in their spare time? With a final death cry, the monster slowly dissolves and evaporates as black mist. A deafening silence returns to the area. To break the quiet, a tune plays on my lips.
Velvet, oh velvet.
Oh. I feel I've heard this before. The Velvet Room song. I create another magic circle in the air and step through it. I shouldn't remain long in this world without any real objective. This is not the world I belong in, after all.
My master has a large nose.
As we're going to meet Igor at all? I was once a resident of the Velvet Room and served its master. The dark blue clothing I still wear is from that time. All the residents have their rules, but they are also on a journey. We help our guests grow as people, and through the help we offer, we come to understand the ultimate question. It's the fundamental question of, who are we?
Thinking back on it, I spent so many days like that for such a long time. I had thought that it would be impossible to change.
But 2 years ago, I finally reached my answer. One's identity cannot be sought out, but must be forged for oneself. It's something you build, little by little. People call the freedom to do so potential, and by mastering it, people develop their unique identities. That is the understanding I came to. So it seemed to me I should believe in my own potential, and wander in pursuit of my desire. It wasn't a hard conclusion to come to. That is why I abandoned my assigned role and departed on my long journey. I have set an objective for myself. To defeat the monster I fought a moment ago once and for all. I vanquished it then, but that is only temporary.
It'll surely resurrect within the year again, and I'll go through today once more.
That monster was... Excuse me? That monster was born from the twisted wishes arising from the lack of substance in people's lives. It slowly stagnates and seeps out. If this is life, then bring on death. Desires like that are what give it power. And that giant black arm tries to free death from its prison. It can never be left to act on its aims. But as long as people continue to wish as they do, foul feelings will congeal, and it will revive endlessly. To truly defeat the monster would be to change the very souls of the people. That cannot be done no matter how much one improves their skill in battle. I do not currently know how this goal can be attained. It may be that no one in the world knows yet. Some new and unknown miraculous power will most likely be required. That is why I wish to travel as far and wide as I can to broaden my horizons. Since I have only interacted with the guests of the room, I'm sure that the scope of my knowledge is far inferior to a single human's. But there are infinite places for me to explore. I'll travel to each one and satisfy my natural curiosity. Okay, I'll place a bookmark. I just want to check something that I'm a bit curious has been happening. Okay, good. I haven't been missing anything. There's just something I was not a bit sure about how OBS was running. But no, that seems to be working okay. And overwrite kanji. Oh. Oh, hello.
Now, that's why I have come here. A double check on the danger scale situation that I just recently discovered.
I place my hands on my hips in what I believe to be standing firm. Before me is what seems to be a replica of a building in the real world.
Since multiple Persona users gathering, it's once in a blue moon that one discovers a place like this.
Okay.
I'm sure I can learn some interesting things here, or something along those lines. In any case, I, Elizabeth, can scarcely keep myself from getting involved.
For someone with a physical form to step into the realm of the mind would be for them to enter an even more abstract place than the Velvet Room. Normally it would be impossible, and even if it were, it would be very dangerous without a firm will. For it to occur at all is intriguing enough. But on top of that, these people are mainly Persona users, and not just one or two. There's no denying that something truly extraordinary is happening here. Broadened horizons aside, I can't resist taking a closer look. When I get closer, I see a nameplate reading Yasugami High School at what seems to be the main gate.
This building. Is it a school?
The school building before me looks aged, and I narrow my eyes.
Seems somewhat old-fashioned compared to the school I have experience with, but it has its charms as well. This is what they call animalist aesthetic.
Is it what they call it?
Animalist?
Minimalist?
Bestial? Anyway, something along those lines.
I'm not sure it is something along those lines, Elizabeth. Wait, rustic? It's not... I wouldn't say it's an animalistic aesthetic. There are bizarre decorations as far as the eye can see inside the building. Was this school always thus adorned?
These decorations... Could this be the fabled school festival I've heard tell of? A festival is where one toys with the lives of goldfish in a scandalous game. One can also enjoy a combat simulation with close-range shooting tests using sniper rifle fire into the interior of stalls.
A little bit of an exaggeration, I think, but not 100% wrong.
I'm starting to get excited.
At least if anime is to be believed. Looking up, I spy a large sign done in vibrant colors.
P-1 Grand Prix. Could this be a fighting tournament?
Oh, figured it out.
This isn't why the Persona users are gathering, is it?
Excuse me? No sooner do my suspicions arise than I sense the first presence within this school and turn towards it. Come, challenger. I wave my arms about in anticipation. But something seems a bit odd.
That lady over there.
Oh.
Is she not a Persona user?
Labras?
Regardless of that, I sense something out of the ordinary.
Excuse me? When I close my eyes, I can tell that while she may appear to be a human girl, something about her is amiss. I sense an unnatural disconnect from her memories and consciousness not seen in most people.
Is she truly human?
Now that I'm here, I can sense powerful combatants gathering one by one. If such power were to be used to its fullest in clashes of skill, the result could be life-threatening. This place is not meant for such a girl. If she were to be drawn into this, then in the worst-case scenario...
Still my old self, when I only lived to play out my role, I would leave her be. But I am different now.
Oh. Excuse me? I make my way towards the girl. As I approach her, I begin to hear voices. It seems that she is calling herself a student council president. I stride down to the end of the hallway where she is walking, directly into her view. The girl gives me a slightly questioning look, but no more. She comes towards me guilelessly.
Hey, excuse me? You got some reason to be at our school?
Oh, I'm yawning far too much today. Up close, I can tell at once. There's no doubt that this girl is not human. Yet she seems to be under that impression. The original residents of this place seem to believe that she is as well. But of course, that is impossible. The disconnect I sensed earlier must be related.
Someone have tampered with her memories and psyche?
No matter how unusual her circumstances, such extreme gaps in awareness are no mere figments of the imagination. It's possible, but normally those with a distorted view of reality have equally distorted emotions. And I do not sense that in her. Her emotions are in balance, only her memories and awareness fall short, like a corps de ballet falling behind a soloist. I fix my gaze upon the girl before me once again. If she did not come here of her own will, then the events here may be more sinister than I imagined.
Are you sure this is how things should be?
Oh.
What are you— I am a wanderer who only stopped here because I sensed great power gathering. I am in no position to give advice, but, this place will soon be caught in a bit of a fracas. If you continue to avert your eyes from everything, I think it will have an impact on your life in the near
Okay, so
future.
Elizabeth didn't actually know what's going on. She just kind of has these
What?
assumptions.
What you choose is up to you, but I believe there are factors preventing you from making the right choices at the moment. I couldn't bring myself to just stand by and watch as you lost your life before my eyes. That is why I came to you, so I could give you one last chance.
Oh. She has most likely forgotten who she is. I sense something shining, slumbering deep in her heart. It's the glow of a bond. No one who has been a resident of the Velvet Room could mistake it for anything else. Before she forgot herself, she must have had strong feelings about someone, or had made a promise to them. But I'll leave it to her to remember what it was. I hold out the Persona Compendium as if handing it to the girl, and open its pages. Light streams out from it and washes over her. The light dispels the girl's false image, the illusion that had made her seem human, though she is not.
Huh?
Oh.
What is this?
Her true form is revealed as a gleaming mechanical body. Her arms look as if steel plates are covering them. The girl frantically pulls at them to try and tear them off.
It won't come off!
What
gives?
That is your arm, Labrys.
My, what a robotically cool body. It is apparently meant for battle. Hey, you! What did you do to me? Nothing in particular. Well,
Nope.
well, considering that you are meant for battle, I shall briefly be your opponent.
Are you sure this is a good idea, Elizabeth?
During that time, why not think back about who you are?
Oh, excuse me. Most likely I will not get through to her with words alone. Only by being forced into a confrontation will she finally be able to understand. She already knows how to use the steel limbs which she's supposedly never before seen.
And away we go.
Okay, now this is the first time playing as Elizabeth. So I'm curious what the control scheme is.
Final.
Oh, hello, music.
Fight.
Oh my, impressive. Impressive. You're frozen now. My attack. My attack. You're frozen now. Impressive.
Oh.
Oh my. Oh no.
Excuse me.
Quite close. My attack. Impressive. Oh no. Oh my. Oh no.
Can I get out of the corner, please?
Here, freeze.
Can you let me out of the corner, please?
My attack. Oh no. Impressive.
Ow. Ow. Okay, can I try that again? And not get locked into the corner?
Final.
I'm not good enough at this game to get out of locks like that.
My attack. My attack. Oh no. Impressive.
Ow.
You're frozen now. Oh no. Impressive. Oh no.
Ow.
Take this. My attack. Won't you have it? Oh no. Oh no. Give it up. Oh no. You're frozen now. Back me up, bloody hell. My attack. Here. My attack. My attack.
Excuse me?
Now up. Here. My attack. Oh no, from this moment.
Here we go. I don't...
My attack. You're frozen now. Here. My attack.
There we go. I need to get used to a new character. Bookmark. Alrighty. The girl collapses powerlessly. I used a soft touch during the battle. He should have sustained no injuries. Probably. Still, the girl does not stand back up, apparently due to mental rather than physical stress. Her own arms and legs had turned metallic, yet in the heat of battle she was able to use those foreign appendages with ease. If she truly thought herself to be human, that would have come as quite a shock.
That should be enough. I'm sure you realize now that you are not human. There must have been an important promise that could only be kept in that guise. That must have been your reason for living. Whether it's worth losing that or not, I ask that you give it serious thought.
An important promise. My reason for living?
Her potential will become unlocked through self-reflection. That was how it happened for me as well.
Now, it seems the tumult of trials is about to begin, in which case, I bid you good luck.
I close the compendium in my hand, and the worn pages rustle as they meet. By the time it shuts, I am already far away from the girl. In my absence, the illusion is again in place, giving her the appearance of a human once more. She may consider what happened to be a daydream, but that is quite alright. My intention was to give her an opportunity to awaken to the truth. What she eventually decides is up to her. But that aside, there's something else on my mind. The girl I thought looked human, but wasn't. It is rare for even one such as I, with an unimaginably long lifespan, to meet someone like her. Yet, she is the second such person I have known. The other was also a guest of mine once. Excuse me. She too resembled a human girl. I can sense her power somewhere here as well. Most likely she's here for reasons having to do with the girl I met.
What an intriguing event. More so than I had first imagined.
Though I came here on a mere whim, this trip may be unexpected fruit. Perhaps I'll discover something important. My interest piqued even more now. I decide to go further in. So the only people we know Elizabeth met otherwise was you and Aigis, right? When I do, the bustle of voices reaches my ear. Is that a cheer? One of the monitors nearby turns on after the cheer dies down. It's showing a girl in a school uniform.
Ladies and gentlemen!
Hello, Rise.
Is everyone ready? It's time to get our program started! I, Reset, will be your commentator. Please, hold your applause.
Is this the first time Rise has actually appeared on a screen, though?
You're too kind!
Because normally didn't, like, the fake Rise, it was only the voice we saw, and it was only General Teddy appeared on the screens.
Starting to heat up now. The General has a few words for you. The mic's all yours, sir.
Next, the person who seems to be the host takes the girl's place. Actually, person may be incorrect. That intriguing fluffiness and tantalizingly round body.
Well then, I'm proud to announce
I'm sure Teddy would be happy to hear those opinions, Elizabeth.
Grand Prix, presenting the manliest of all men.
This is more of a to-do than I thought.
I keep watching as a video of some upbeat music plays.
Is this an introduction to the contestants?
A number of girls and boys are introduced at a steady pace. I haven't seen any of their faces before, but they all appear to be persona users. Each one of them is tagged with a mocking epithet.
Carnivore who's discarded womanhood, the blood-curdling beefcake emperor, the sister complex kingpin. Are these signs of their willingness to cast aside their pride in pursuit of victory? I wonder if they're not casting aside a little too much. This is a rather novel idea.
No denying the dose of power gathering here for the tournament. The video comes to a close. Since I came here on my own whim, I am obviously not featured in it. How unfortunate. I catch myself pouting my lips.
Should I officially
Oh,
enter this as well? But if the manliest of all men are the ones called for, I cannot participate. Then again, I distinctly spotted a woman or two in the introductory video. Then I shan't concern myself with such trifling details. I shall soldier on.
Next time the host appears on a monitor, I will make my entreaty. If he turns me down, then I shall resort to force. Very good. My mind made up, I begin my walk through the school. Okay. Battles, battles. Oh, where might I find a battle? I look into a window nearby.
Oh my!
Aha.
The host himself is
Oh,
before
no.
my eyes.
Teddy. Before I realize it, I'm already in motion.
Pardon my dynamic entrance.
Did you just break through the window?
Someone's here. Hmm?
Looking around, I see a piano and portraits of famous composers lining the walls. I see. This must be what they call a music room.
Please forgive me for startling you.
Ooh! Who are you, miss?
I am Elizabeth, a mere elevator attendant, albeit one who is currently utterly neglecting her duties.
An elevator attendant? I don't believe it. I'm having culture shock.
Is that what you call this,
I
Teddy?
wish Junessa's elevators had such beautiful attendants, too.
Excuse me, but may I ask your name?
Teddy! Adoy!
I'm sorry. Would you mind repeating that in human language?
I was saying it normally. Teddy is my name, and I'm a proud bear.
I see. Teddy Bear. You have a rather creative flair to your appearance.
I wish you'd say cute instead. Though hearing a pretty lady like you say so makes my heart skip a beat.
The term like saying like you have a creative flair to your appearance sounds like one of those like not quite an insult. Like when someone kind of has a view and you don't want to say it's bad, but you can't. Watching him, I cannot restrain my curiosity any longer and prod his soft fur with abandon.
Huh? What are you doing?
This seems to lack ventilation. How does he breathe in there? Oh, there's a zipper.
Or just remove his head.
Stop! I'm ticklish. Oh no! No opening! You're embarrassing me!
Oh, please forgive me. Curiosity almost killed the bear.
Huh? What were you planning on doing to me? You're even a tougher customer than the kids at the food court, miss!
When I step away, Teddy Bear lightly smooths over his fur to try and regain his composure.
I had forgotten what I originally meant to ask because of your fine coat of hair. Teddy Bear, though I am a woman, I wish to partake in this Grand Prix.
Huh? I can't help you with that.
Oh, but are you not the host shown in the introduction video?
It's all a huge misunderstanding. That guy's an imposter. Won't you hear me out?
It seems he is faced with some kind of dilemma. I decide to lend an ear to Teddy Bear. He animatedly describes his circumstances, but his arms and legs are too short to illustrate his point. His mannerisms are so peculiar that understanding is an uphill battle, but in the end, I grasped the basics.
See. So you realized that something was amiss and came wandering in
You
here
did,
yourself
did you
to
now, Teddy?
investigate. But you fell into the imposter's trap and couldn't do a thing until a moment ago. You have my deepest sympathies.
Do I really? Anyways, everyone else is on the contestant list while I get the cold shoulder.
Is that so? Then, since we are both outcasts, let us participate of our own accord.
Our own?
May I request a match from you?
That makes no sense at all. What do you mean?
Elizabeth's just here to cause chaos.
Ooh, maybe a hot and heavy struggle with all kinds of clinches and holds?
Get your hopes up,
A
Teddy.
one-on-one battle to the extreme.
That makes no sense. Wait a second. You look a lot stronger than me, miss.
Oh, don't be so modest.
No, I'm really not.
I'm very sorry, but the deadline for submitting a forfeit notice has expired.
Oh no.
You're not sorry at all. There are things I can't do, you know. Oh, but on the other hand, if I can try scoring with you later, I might rethink this.
If you survive, Teddy.
Or, I do not understand the term, but if that is your stipulation, why, I accept.
Oh, you accept?
Oh dear. Well, Teddy's got his motivation.
You are.
That is, if you're still alive after.
Yep.
Well then, here goes. Your fate is in the cards.
I take my fighting stance. Settling matters for a show of force is simple, straightforward, and so beautiful. Here we go. Elizabeth versus Teddy. Did we meet Elizabeth in Teddy's own route? I can't remember. I only remember meeting her in Use and... Excuse me.
My turn. My attack. You're frozen now. My attack. Won't you have some? Backing up. Here. Opening my door. Summoning.
Come out.
What?
My turn. Warning. My turn. Here's some freezing. My attack. My attack. Here. My attack.
I'm done for.
There we go. Bookmark. Another one down.
The road to dating is steep.
Hey, at least you survived, Teddy. With an exaggerated groan, Teddy Bear collapses. Or rolls down to be more precise.
Teddy Bear, you truly are an intriguing creature.
Hearing this, Teddy Bear springs to his feet.
Are you interested in me?
Though you aren't human, you fight against your fate and wish to be with humans. I have witnessed one other case who bore such a fate in the past.
Huh?
You made a choice and decided how you wish to live. That is marvelous, Teddy Bear.
Marvelous? Me? Does that mean you're still okay with me trying to score with you?
That is not what it means.
Teddy Bear loses his balance for some unknown reason and falls over.
No! The way you shoot down my attempts reminds me of Yuki-chan.
Yuki-chan, is this an acquaintance of yours?
Yuki-chan is a very precious friend of mine.
More bear buns.
You have friends.
Actually, everyone who is in that video are my friends. But I can't forgive them for having all the fun. I'll make them buy me a tasty treat for this.
I see. May I ask you
Oh, no.
something? Who would you consider the strongest among your friends?
Well, Sensei, of course. He's the manliest of all men.
Sensei. If I recall
Oh, no.
correctly, that is the name of a governing class within a school, wielding the power of life and death over its students.
Not quite.
Yes, that does indeed sound like the name of a strong warrior.
Sensei's our leader.
He sounds strong, but he seems to be unconnected to the former guest I am searching for. But as Teddy Bear speaks of his friend called Sensei, he wears a beaming expression. He must be connected with a truly strong bond. Inwardly, I am surprised. Though he is adorable, this teddy bear most likely used to be something similar to a shadow. I'm very curious about anyone who could form a bond with such a being. Thinking about it that way makes me interested in him as well.
Oh, that was quite helpful. Thank you.
Once the tournament's over, you should come hang out at Junes sometime.
Junes?
It's a place where Don Yosuke
Don Yosuke.
It's huge. You can eat food there, and they have candy, toys, and sexy bikinis too.
What a paradise on Earth!
Don't humor him,
It
Elizabeth.
seems there is still much I do not know about in your world. Well then, if you'll excuse me, I must get going now.
Be careful!
I bow politely. Teddy Bear waves back with a big smile. Okay, so who's next? Who do we bump into next? Now, I decided to participate on my own. How should I proceed from here? I don't have a good understanding of this building's layout after all. I try going in and out of the building to test various paths, but I don't get anywhere.
It may have come to this.
I rear back my head and inhale as deeply as I can. And then...
Bring out the next opponent! No one heeded my call. I suppose repeating that line isn't enough.
My shoulders sag slightly and I concentrate on the area nearby. I sense an unexpected presence.
Ah, there is someone closer by than I had expected.
Oh dear.
What a reunion this will be. I'm starting to feel tingly.
Oh, so someone from Persona 3? Aigis? There's no need for me to keep searching for an opponent, since one is already nearby. I trace the presence and proceed down the hallway. When I reach what appears to be an entryway, I can hear what sounds like voices quarreling. One of the voices is Teddy Bear, or rather the sham host, General Teddy. Oh, General Teddy?
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! What a fight! No wonder you're an anti-shadow weapon.
I take no joy at all from your praise.
Hello, Aigis. As I move forward, I find myself breaking into a run. Soon afterward, the voice's owner enters my field of vision. Just as I thought, that unmistakable figure. She's a guest I hosted in my life as a resident. If I recall correctly, her name is Aigis. Upon closer inspection, she is aiming her weapon at General Teddy on the monitor.
Pointing your weapon at a monitor isn't very scary. But anyways, your next opponent is...
If I don't act now, the match will start without me. I must prevent General Teddy from speaking for the time being until my business is completed. Again, before I realize it, I am already in motion.
No. Pardon my bold entrance.
Did you just break the monitor?
Huh? Oh, the monitor's completely shattered. Who would do such a thing?
A strange intruder has shown up.
Oh my. I thought we were having a touching reunion. How unfortunate that you would refer to me as a strange intruder.
A reunion? I don't recall ever meeting anyone so odd.
She who governs power. Does that ring any bells for you?
I guess not remember this.
Wait, are you the one I met in that blue room then? Your entrance just now was very different from how I remembered your behavior, so I didn't recognize you. But you're Eridanus' son.
No.
Who's Eridanus?
Elixir? Erengi?
In any case, I never dreamed that I'd meet you here.
Elizabeth doesn't care to correct your mistake.
That goes for myself as well. It's been a long time since I saw you, but why are you here? What about your duties of governing power?
I am currently in gross abandonment of my duties.
Just Elizabeth's pride and kind of just, I am completely neglecting my duties.
That was a very straightforward answer.
Considering the circumstances here, I'd like to test your strength as well.
I excitedly flipped through the pages of the compendium.
What? Please, wait a moment. Does that mean you wish to fight me?
From what I've heard, in certain cultures in your world, one lets one's fists do the talking. Perhaps you could think of it as a sporty, modern, and extreme way of greeting one another.
I don't understand at all.
You seem to have become strong beyond
Oh,
all
dear.
recognition. I'd like to see your power for myself, to broaden my horizons. Will you grant my shameless request?
I still don't understand. But does this mean your wish will be fulfilled if I agree to fight you? If that's really what you want. Will you mind if I don't hold
I don't
back?
think you'll have a choice, Aigis.
I couldn't ask for anything more. I, Elizabeth, will fight you with all the strength at my disposal. Now, let us begin.
Settling matters for a show of force is simple, straight. Pardon me, I said that once already. Okay. Another bookmark? Alright, Aigis. I felt, again, in the fight against Teddy, I was getting the hang of Elizabeth a bit more.
Finally.
Oh, there's music. That's...
Fire! My turn. My attack.
Gyro, heavy damage.
My attack. Oh no. Oh my.
Ow.
Heavy damage. Starting.
My attack.
Heavy damage.
My attack.
There we go.
Gyro, heavy damage. Severe impact. Ow!
My attack. My attack.
Heavy damage.
Ow.
Here is some free.
Severe impact. Ow! Damage.
My attack.
Gyro, heavy damage. Ready.
Oh no.
Fire. My other self. Now up. Persona. Heavy damage. Heavy damage. Aerial mode. Guarding. Heavy damage.
My attack. My speed.
Heavy damage. Heavy damage. Persona.
Let's change things. My turn.
No.
My attack.
No.
There we go. That's Heartful Cry, I think the name of that track is. I've only heard the remix of it in Persona 3 used in Persona 3 Dancing.
You're strong.
Aigis crouches down for a regretful
I
expression.
know. I was surprised myself. It's been a while since I fought with all my power.
I close my eyes and reminisce. Just as I had expected, she has grown more powerful than before. Aigis is not human. She has an artificial body, making her sort of mechanical maiden. She was originally created as a tool to accomplish a set goal of established abilities, but by gaining a heart, she forged her own destiny. She did this with the power that can only be gained by those of emotions, the power of bonds. Her nature shifted from one directed by others to one who chooses for herself. She was no longer merely acting, but living. This shift caused a miracle, and she overcame her artificial origins to attain what could be called life. Some have had the talent of turning bonds into great strength by forming a contract through intense desire. We residents of the Velvet Room refer to this talent as the wild card, and it has at times changed the course of history. Even I, who served as a resident for a long time, only encountered a few with that power. She is one of them. Oh wait, Aigis has the wild card?
I now have a wish of my own, though it may take vast oceans of time for it to come true. Perhaps one day you will accompany me on the same journey.
What do you mean?
If our destinies truly do cross, you will eventually understand.
Aigis' expression shows that she still does not understand. But that is fine for now.
By the way, how have your friends been?
Huh? Oh, they're all well. Several of them are here right now.
Oh, speaking of, or is this just General Teddy trying to get back in touch? Suddenly, a staticky voice echoes from the broken monitor's speaker, interrupting our conversation. It seems I was not fur in my destruction.
Testing. It's finally getting through. Hey, you! The one who's not on the roster! Who are you? Why are you gumming up the works?
It's that bear.
If you keep messing with my Grand Prix, I'll make you...
I snap the fingers of my right hand with a flourish. The speaker explodes. I am sure that the announcement will bother us no more now. It seems I have finally finished it all.
Oh my! Flames have suddenly burst from the speakers. How dreadful.
That was 180% your doing.
Such repeated meddling. It seems I have a bit of a score to settle with the host too. Well then, I will be going now. Please be careful.
Oh, wait. There is a rule in this tournament against the loser of a fight moving on.
Is there? Well, considering that I entered myself into the tournament, I do not think you count as a defeated contestant. That is only conjecture, though.
You entered yourself, yet you're going to settle a score with the host for complaining about you?
Huh, details.
Yeah. Alrighty. I smile cheerfully in return and leave the area. Truly, that was one of my better smiles.
I cannot believe that even Elizabeth's son came to this world. That's it! Her name was Elizabeth's son. I finally remember.
She did say her name before the battle as well. Eventually, I reached a room known as the announcement room. When I approached the door, I sensed power from within. It seems the real host is here, and not on some monitor. I haven't encountered that Persona user known as Sensei yet, but thinking about it, I would expect him to win his matches until reaching here. It may be easier to wait than to search aimlessly for him. Upon closer inspection, the door is slightly open. There are people inside.
I sense 3 people.
Oh. I cautiously sneak up to the door and peek inside. So who's here? Rise,
What a
General
shame.
Teddy.
You gave it a try, but there's no way
Lapras?
anyone would understand you.
Huh? That is that teddy bear imposter. The student council president is here too. It seems the false teddy bear's tone is much harsher than before. Has he been meeting with difficulties lately?
When I look again at what's going on inside the room, a sinister aura swirls around General Teddy. A surprising transformation occurs. His silhouette reforms into a shapeless lump, which resolves into the figure of the council president girl.
The true self.
Goodness, that false teddy bear was actually the girl's shadow. I see. It's true that suffering to this degree could cause a shadow to go berserk and affect its surroundings.
The girl's true appearance has already been exposed. It seems she was finally able to face her original nature. Surprisingly, the enemy forcing the illusion upon her was her other self. I'm glad that she has awakened to her true self, but this is a shocking and drastic turn of events.
At least one of them has to understand how I feel. Isn't that what you thought? The important part is that it's all your fault.
That's not true.
You want the everyday boys and girls to experience what you had to go through.
So we're getting right to this bit?
You want to see close friends fight for their lives against each other. Because if they do that, then they might understand. You want to make them understand.
That ain't true.
It's all right, though. You don't have to worry about that anymore. I'll take care of everything from here. I'll destroy anyone who doesn't understand you
Yep.
and comes to get in your way. Just like you
Okay,
once
I did expect that Elizabeth would be a bit shorter.
Stop! That's all a lie! You're not me!
No, Elizabeth never showed up in this fight in any of the other situations.
Finally! You finally said it! I'm finally free!
We've seen this one before. The shadow has gone berserk. At this point, it can no longer be stopped solely by the original person. Worse, the shadow has no more reason to keep its host alive. If this continues... oh. But a third person storms onto the scene just as I am about to intervene.
Labrys.
This is a young man in a school uniform. For a moment, I am utterly captivated. What powerful fire he has in his eyes. On a second look, I recognize his face from the video. As I recall, his name was Kingpin Yu. No, that's not right. Sister Complex Yu. No, that sounds even further from his actual name. Narukami, that's right. It's Yu Narukami.
I won't let you hurt her anymore. If you're gonna keep rampaging, I'll fight you.
Fine! Then you'll be the first to die!
The shadow's attack hurtles towards the young man, but he does not flinch and takes a fighting stance after smoothly evading it. Seeing his heightened determination, I detect a distinct presence about him.
That young man is a Persona user too.
And that's not all. This sensation is similar to when I encountered Aigis.
His powers be...
There's no doubt about it. It's the same as hers. He too is a Persona user whose awakened talent is that of the wild card. The shadow launches its next attack at the young man. The battle axe it brandishes is a cluster of steel as long as she is tall. If he truly can wield those powers, he may be able to stop such an attack, but it is not a sure
This
thing.
opportunity cannot be missed.
This time, I enter the room and step between the two. Oh,
What? Pardon me as I interrupt this scene.
oh
Who
dear.
are you?
You! How? I set up walls so you couldn't pass through. How did you get here?
Though you couldn't pass through? What is it referring to? Oh, could it mean those invisible walls I bumped into from time to time? I suppose, thinking back, I did run afoul of such things along the way. But a little push was all it took to pass through them, so I barely paid them any heed.
Such parlor tricks can get stuffed.
The shadow and the young man both look quite perplexed. Was what I said so shocking? I take the opportunity to step towards the young man and look him straight in the face.
Are you perhaps the sensei that Teddy Bear spoke of? Someone who has awakened to the power
Oh,
of the
dear.
wild card through Velvet Room's guidance.
What? Wait, that blue outfit. Who are you?
I flash him a smile and turn my gaze towards the girl collapsed nearby. I believe he called her Labrys a moment ago.
I see. I feel that I have a good grasp on the situation now.
Then can't you tell you're in the way? Get out of here!
I cannot do that. I came to settle some business I had with
Oh,
you,
dear.
the tournament's host.
What business?
To be blunt. What business was it?
He's little as it can't even remember.
How the hell should I know?
That was harsh.
It turns out that I do not care about such trifling details after all. My apologies. Please forget my mention of business. Actually, my search for a certain individual has unexpectedly concluded, so we're done here.
Who said we're done? That's it! I'll kill you where you stand!
Oh dear.
I wouldn't recommend it. If I may be so boastful, it would be a battle you stand no chance of winning.
What?
My words must have been so humiliating that the shadow's face flushes red and it gropes for words. I ignore it in order to speak to the young man.
Nice meeting you, by the way. I am Elizabeth. Would it ring a bell if I mentioned that I am the one who governs power?
You mean like Margaret?
Oh, do you know my older sister?
Okay.
See, no wonder.
Is Shadow Labrys okay with just being ignored?
Stop ignoring me, bitch!
Nope. I shield the young man behind me and turn towards the shadow.
Please wait a moment. I must ask the one over there to leave this place before we resume.
It's you who's going to leave!
I was sure that I gave the proper warnings earlier. So it goes. Your fate is in the cards.
Oh dear. Okay, Shadow Labrys.
Final. Fight!
Ow. Oh, hello. Ow. Excuse me.
You're frozen now. My attack. Now. What? Oh no. My attack.
The reach Labrys has makes fighting against hers Elizabeth a little awkward. Ow. Ow.
From this moment forward, I will give it my all. Let's change things up.
Ow. Yeah, yep, I'm getting stuck in the corner again. I really need to avoid getting stuck in the corner against Labrys. Let's try this again. Hopefully I can avoid that mistake.
Final. Fight!
My attack. My attack. Now. Let's change things up. My attack. Your fate is in the cup. Your impact.
Oh. Ow.
This is in a hurry. What's the matter? My attack. My attack. My attack.
Excuse me.
Freeze. Your fate is in the opening my death. Opening my death. My attack.
Okay, that went much better. Just don't ever give Labrys the initiative.
How could it end like this?
Just beaten by a random intruder.
It's all completely ruined.
The shadow falls to its knees, its will completely drained. I doubt it has the strength left to attack us.
Is me?
The girl, still unable to stand, stares blankly at her own shadow. I turn around towards the young man. This P-1 Grand Prix was most likely caused by the girl's shadow manifesting her suppressed anguish. But the young man tried to reach out to her, even at the risk of his own safety. And even after seeing proof that she was the one who caused that risk.
Excuse me, but may I leave the rest of this to you? I'm ashamed to say so, but delicate persuasion is not my forte.
Is it not, Elizabeth?
I understand. I agree that you don't seem like you'd be too good at it.
Yeah, you don't need to agree, you. The young man walks towards Labrys, who is still at a loss for words. I have yet to have a proper conversation with him, but I sense a certain trustworthiness in his strong
Miss
steps.
President, or actually Labrys.
What am I supposed to do?
Excuse
What
me?
difference does it make if I accept this? In the end, no one's gonna understand me anyway, right?
It's true that others won't be able to easily understand your pain. But are you gonna give up after just one try at showing them? One victory or loss doesn't matter. What matters is that you don't give up. That's what I think.
I shouldn't give up?
No, you can do this. You're not alone anymore.
Labrys' eyes widen, as if just realizing the brightness of the scenery before her. The young man waits patiently for his words to sink in. After some time, Labrys finally stands up and looks towards me.
Is this what you were
she
talking
does remember.
about before?
I am also not human, but who you are is for you to decide. That is the power of potential that everyone holds. Even for a machine, I believe that still holds true.
You could have just said so when we first met.
Alas, I have always had some difficulty making myself understood.
Come on now. You should go to her.
Labrys faces her shadow once more at the urging of the young man. Oh, and we have... So, an awakening scene? Now, imagine Elizabeth isn't going to get involved in the, like, after party stuff.
Congratulations!
Yeah, you did well.
Thanks.
Everyone happy.
There's no need to thank us. It was all you.
Seeing Labrys smile, I can't help but grin as well. But her relief only lasts for a moment before the strength drains from her body and she stumbles.
Labrys!
The young man hastily catches her.
There's no need to worry. She must have reached the limits of her stamina.
He props the unconscious Labrys down against a
The
wall.
strength that binds hearts together. No matter how many times I witness it, its beauty never fades. May I borrow some of your time?
Oh. The young man looks over his shoulder in surprise, but when our gazes cross, he turns, as if
Are
understanding.
you a resident of the Velvet Room too?
Well, in a way, I have abandoned my duties at the moment in order to see through a desire of mine.
What did you want with me?
I calm myself before opening my mouth once
In
more.
order for my wish to be granted, I require a power much greater than what I have. But it is most likely not power used to fight. It is something else. I wish to understand what that is. The power of the wild card that changes bonds into strength. I have a feeling that the key lies there.
I don't really understand.
Put more bluntly, I
Don't think
wish for you
Elizabeth
to
quite
show me
understands
your
either.
potential.
The young man considers everything I said, but eventually sighs before responding.
I get it now.
You don't mind?
Would you back down if I said no? After what you said before, I don't think you'd back off that easy.
Touché.
I take a slightly defensive
There is
stance.
no need to be lenient. I invite you to approach this battle as if you intend to kill me.
I didn't think I could win any other way.
I'm guessing this version of you has tried
Thank
fighting
you.
Margaret?
Well then, here goes. Your fate is in the cards.
Okay. Fighting you again. It feels like it's been a while since you's come up as an opponent. Yeah,
Final.
I don't think it's been like since the original, like going through.
Your fate is in the cards. Your fate is in the cards.
Ow! Ow!
My attack. My attack. Impressive. Impassive.
Ow! Excuse me, please. Right? Good.
Backing up. Rounds and rounds. How mean.
Nope. Missed the finish.
Won't you have some?
There we go. No bookmark.
She's so...
Oh.
I see. You do indeed have great power.
Even while saying so, I am conflicted, my expression clouds. It's true that he was strong. He expertly wields the power of the wild card. But thinking about it, that isn't what I wanted to learn. The power of the wild card doesn't stem just from one's skill in a fight. His strength comes from his knowledge that he cannot avoid fighting to gain his desire. That strength happens to manifest as power in battle. But what I want to learn has little to do with combat. Will I ever get closer to the root of the matter with this method? But even if I find that I can't, I don't see any other way. I have measured all types of strength, great and small, as one who governs power. I feel suddenly anxious.
Would it be that it's something I cannot understand?
Will I never be able to understand? As one distant from the workings of human society? Has it been impossible from the start for my wish to be fulfilled? I then noticed the sound of footsteps.
Hey, are you okay? Oh shit, dude, what happened to you?
Yukon, are you
Oh
alright?
dear.
Senpai, hang in there.
It seems that once the shadow who created this place was vanquished, the rules keeping everyone trapped were nullified. These must be the friends he formed bonds with.
Yo!
But,
Did you do this? What did you do to Senpai?
oh yeah, might have to explain things. One of them turns his fierce eyes on
You're
me.
so mean, miss! This is going too far!
Who are you anyway?
Oh.
Better explain yourself.
We're the bad guy in this one.
If you did this with malign intent, we won't let you leave here so easily.
Their anger at seeing their friends hurt. That was a new experience for me. Their bond gave birth to anger, grew into animosity, and that fury is now directed towards me. But the young man stands up.
One more time.
Oh? He requests this even though he is badly wounded. A rematch would seem to have only one possible outcome.
What?
Please, that is enough. I've already witnessed your strength.
If this ends with my defeat, it doesn't count as me showing you my potential.
But...
You shouldn't jump to conclusions. I thought I said this once today. What's important is that you don't give up after one try. You have to hang in there. My friends that I haven't seen in a while are all here. I can't just wave the white flag.
Oh. Yu's fighting again? The moment the young man makes his declaration, a mysterious presence fills the area. Oh. The presence surges with power and creates a whirlpool of light around him. Within that light, the young man's determination and drive instantly rekindle.
What is that power?
Is it the wild card he holds? I then notice that the young man's friends are standing behind him in support, all of them fixing their gazes on me as I stand perplexed. The bond that they share in their very cores echoed in their eyes. I suddenly feel as if I am confronting a fearsome giant.
I cannot believe I am seeing this.
I find myself starting to back off. My footsteps are unsteady as I go. A small dip in the floor behind me, no larger than a fingernail, throws me off balance. Surely I'm about to fall. But then unseen arms catch me.
Are you alright?
Oh.
You're...
Aigis. In contrast to my utter bewilderment, she wears a calm smile. When I turn back to the young man, the surge of power has already dissipated. I catch myself sighing in relief. Even when I review my long memory, I can recall no occasion on which I felt so overwhelmed before.
What was that just now? Do you happen to know what this power is?
I do not know the specifics, but...
Aigis also turns her gaze towards you and his
that
friends.
must be the power of their bonds. The power that stems from not being alone. I don't know why, but I feel like I understand when I'm watching them.
The power of not being alone.
It's a power they all share. It isn't just his. Did their strong bonds turn his determination not to lose into an instant recovery for him? I am suddenly reminded of a conversation I once had with my sister. If something is impossible for them to accomplish alone, they will work together. His friends have even worked miracles at times. Those were the words I spoke to her.
What's important is that you don't give up.
It is a cliché to hear, but its wisdom is profound. I dismissed his potential judging by my standards. I almost gave up in the same way, thinking that I would be unable to understand. But he refused to allow that. His power proves that there is not only one standard. It is truly the strength found in numbers.
So this is a bond.
When I think about the guests I met who had formed bonds, I may have focused too much on those individuals. I never took much interest in who they bonded with, or how those bonds were forged.
What I should be studying isn't just him, but all of them together. Not the strength of a person, but of people. That may be the lesson. It seems I am starting to find hope.
I nod in satisfaction.
Today's festivities made for quite a wonderful Grand Prix. Considering that there have been some games, I should be going. If you'll all excuse me.
Doesn't you want a rematch? I turn to make my exit.
Wait a sec, you haven't explained yourself yet! You haven't even told us your name! It's Elizabeth!
Hey! Back here! What are you all happy for?
Who was she? Well, the odds are low that she was the mastermind behind this case.
Enough about her! Senpai's more important. We'll get you out of here in no time, so hang in there, Senpai. Teddy, get a stretcher ready.
I don't think he needs a stretcher.
Huh?
What are you standing around for? Move!
Is you in that bad a shape?
Guys, I'm not exactly critically injured yet.
Yeah, I was thinking.
I think it's wonderful.
You're...
Seeing you surrounded by friends reminds me of a certain someone.
a certain someone?
There is no need to worry, everyone. His wounds are not serious. He is merely exhausted.
Oh, thank goodness. Wait, who are you?
Yeah. Well, that's a conversation I guess we're not seeing. I could have left by a shorter route, but I returned to the school's front gate and looked back at the school. The faces of the people I parted with a moment ago are called to mind. Amongst them is that young man's face. I only faced him briefly, yet I recall him with surprising
I'm
vividness.
sure that he will continue to increase his strength of heart. It is a given with so many friends. I am a little bit envious.
Oh. Teleport time? I turn the pages of the compendium and draw a magic circle in the
Well
air.
then, farewell.
I soundlessly pass through it and leave, as if melting into the scenery. I close my eyes and my thoughts drift to the past. Oh.
Elizabeth? Elizabeth, are you listening?
Hello, Margaret.
You seem lost in thought like that frequently of late. Could this mean that you finally began to be troubled over things, like a normal person?
How scathing of you, as usual.
Believe me, sister, I am not as bad as you. What's the matter?
My dear sister, I want to tell you a fairy tale.
What's this about?
In our world, at the far reaches of the Sea of the Soul, there stands a large door. A soul which devoted itself to sealing that door slumbers there.
Why did it do such a thing?
That soul is risking itself to prevent those who have lost sight of life's brilliance from luring the world to self-destruction.
This to do with the plot of Persona 3.
It has become the guardian of the door, of the whole world, in fact.
That is a very sorrowful story.
My dear sister, do you think I can save that person?
I thought it was a fairy tale.
It may be impossible alone, but what if I joined forces to do it? This person's friends are capable of miracles at times.
This person you speak of, is it... I hope you're not planning to...
Oh, don't be silly, my dear sister.
Oh.
I told you, it was only a fairy tale.
To a certain degree, all of your stories are like fairy tales. I don't know what's troubling you, but be sure that you don't neglect your duties.
Nope. Elizabeth is very much going to neglect her duties. When I open my eyes again, I am in the Sea of the Soul, a world where countless bright lights shine like a nebula.
Velvet, oh velvet.
I begin singing a song, but now that I'm here again, I feel a hint of loneliness. I smile inwardly at myself. What happened today was very fruitful for me, though it came with a certain realization. I still don't have anyone in the world outside the Velvet Room that I wish to form a bond with. My lack of a hunger for such things may have prevented me from understanding.
No, that's not quite right either.
Lack of hunger? That's not it. In truth, it was within my power, but I was turning my gaze away from it. After all, I didn't begin this journey only to find the means to defeat that monster. I thought by defeating it, I could see him again.
To think I was unconsciously afraid of something and keeping my distance from it. That is quite a surprise.
The mechanical girl, the young man today, and my old guest all had their own desires and resolve from the start. I should make myself just as resolved if I am to achieve my desire as well. I will face it unblinkingly and accept it. I will admit that the loneliness in me arose from leaving my old residence. The sick feeling of loneliness will surely torment me and cause me grief forever. But if I harden my resolve to allow for embracing that pain, I'm certain that my yearning heart will yield great power. Bonds. The other half of being alive, along with death. Just as death gives life its shine, I'm sure loneliness will shed new light on the question of bonds. That is when I will obtain the power of bonds in the truest sense. Certainly I will not achieve that miracle alone.
I cannot defeat that monster now. I may in time gain the power to truly erase it.
He must have felt that hunger as well. That is why he tried to protect his bonds with his life, leading him into the universe. I smile to myself again. As one who leads others, I have only now gained enlightenment about the true meaning of bonds. And at that moment... Oh. A single card drifts down before my eyes. Hovering before me, like a butterfly fluttering its wings, is the card of the Fool. Oh. It bursts into pearls of light on my hand.
To think the day would come where I would behold my own arcana and not that of a visitor's.
Oh. The Fool. It represents freedom, purity, possibility, And
the beginning of a journey. It may be that my journey has finally truly begun. The fool, Well, I am aware that I still do foolish things.
I give a wry smile and look up. My gaze is fixed on what lies ahead. It is an enormous door that looms like a small mountain in the center of the void.
Please wait for me. One day I shall surely see my wish come true.
I briskly turn on my heel away from the door. My walk begins.
Velvet, oh velvet.
My bright song will no longer have mournful undertones.
My master has a large nose.
I have yet to determine a sure path. There's no assurance that my wish will come true. And whether I will truly make some sort of connection with those I encountered today isn't certain either. But I have hope now, and that is what lets me go on. This time, I can head towards the future I desire without losing my way. Oh, is that the end of Elizabeth's route? Indeed. Okay, why are these ones yellow? There's still no... Okay, hold up. Before I finish up for today, I'm going to actually look that up. Like... Let's see. Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. Yellow clear? Okay. Apparently it's different dialogue? There are just, it's... If the killer's in yellow, I missed something? Okay, so... Right. Okay, so 99... Okay, so there is stuff I've missed in these routes. But what? Okay, so I'm curious now to...
Welcome.
Skip to the next path selection. So, I'll go through this, like, quickly, and... I don't need to place bookmarks at this stage.
Rivals.
Yeah, we've seen cutscene. Yep, we've entered the TV. Velvet room. We don't need to place bookmarks. P-1 Grand Prix? I'm trying to think where the choice might be. Oh yeah, I'm actually gonna have to do the fights, aren't I? I could have set auto battle on, but I don't know if that's would take longer or more or less time to do the auto battle.
Final. Fight.
Excuse me. Ow. Excuse me.
Alright, it's over. Time to leave.
I think best option is just to cheese it and spam the default attack. I don't need to save. Okay. Have you ever felt that way?
You may be more conscious of that fact.
Was that? Hello, Labras.
Hey! That sounded like it came from...
Oh. It's absolutely...
I'll take it from here. It's all right. There's nothing to worry about.
Is this the right choice? There's Yukiko. I'm trying to remember like what choices there were in Yu's story that don't feel like just normal. Like several of them feel like just random dialogue choices.
Finally.
The only other one I can think of is in the... The only other one I can think of is in the, like, post-cliffhanger stuff. Is if I, like, use Kant to, like, signal kanji rather than... Oh. There we go. That's the only thing I can think of. What about Chie's?
Yukiko, are you alright?
No, it's okay.
There's a lot of choices here.
Don't worry about me.
But these all feel just like dialogue differences. Chie. Okay, just straight into another fight.
Finally.
It'd be nice. It'd be nice if there was something like a little tick mark or something to indicate like which choice you'd previously taken. There we go.
How unfortunate. Better luck next time.
I really can't think of... Maybe it is the post cliffhanger, like... Don't insult Chie. Oh. Oh yeah, that's Labras kind of showing the first sign she's not... Aigis? Okay. And what Chie's... I suppose the only difference I can think of Chie is not offering Akihiko the...
Damage! No! Light damage! Severe impact!
Ow!
Anti-air! Severe impact! Simply right there! Heavy damage! I will not...
Can I just... Does this work? Oh no, she does learn to guard.
Damage! Severe impact! Light damage! Strike! Guarding! That was close! Guarding! Damage! No! Motor functions shutting down!
There we go. Yeah, I don't need to place a bookmark. Oh, hello, Elizabeth.
Oh, how excited this is making.
Okay. Well, another fight immediately. This is the last fight before the announcement room, I believe.
Final. Fight!
Ow.
Oopsie daisy. Remarkable. Impressive. As I anticipated. Pray forgive me. Please look above.
Negative penalty.
Summon. Oh no. Impressive. It's time. Impressive.
Here we go.
I'm surprised.
There's Elizabeth down. Which choice did I make before?
I see.
They're not getting away from me.
Yeah, you thought, yeah, you was under the, like, tricked into the fact that like, Nanago was apparently kidnapped here. That was his motivation. There's Labrys Awakening. Oh, does it skip? Oh, it gets to skip straight to... Okay, that's nice. Once you've unlocked it, it does skip straight to... You don't have to go back to the story select and select from the cliffhanger. But yeah, that's the... Choosing kanji is the only other choice I can think of, but I don't know how much of a difference that might make.
Final.
Like, I felt like it was the wrong choice, but then in kanji's route, it kind of... There we go. There, don't need a bookmark. Just need more path choices. Because apparently there is a true ending to the Ultimax story that relies on you having having 100% completion in...
We'll save her no matter what you...
Okay, so this is the battle against Hacked Labrys. Which I think is the final battle for you.
Final. Fight!
Ow. Ah, not close enough. Ow. There we go. You can get the fights done pretty quick if you just spam the default attacks.
My, she was quite...
Okay, yeah. Signal kanji. I stare directly into Kanji's eyes for a moment, hoping that he understands my intention here. But Kanji blushes and looks away. Oh wait, no wait, is this actually something different? Come on, Kanji, get with the program! Hey, wait, what did you think I meant? I turn towards Yosuke instead. I fix Yosuke with a stern gaze, hoping he'll succeed where Kanji failed. Come on, Yosuke, back me up! Move. Oh. This is... That seems to be so far the same other than kind of that awkward moment. Oh, limo.
I decided to work.
Okay, so that's... We've seen this. No, but still yellow. What choice am I making wrong? Is there any... Is this one of the ones where the... Because you do get the... The artwork. I'm guessing it, yeah, includes different scenes. I'm not missing any gaps here. So I'm not missing any illustrations. Right? Because, yeah, these are all P4AU stories, not P4A. So... Okay, I think I'm gonna have to look this up late, like, off stream. But next time... Hopefully, if I can get that done, I'll be sorting myself with starting episode P4 next time I start up Persona 4 Arena. I just need to find the one dialogue choice I haven't taken in... Yeah, P4A story mode. With Chie's, I feel fairly confident it might be in the alternate, like, the bad ending where we fight Akihiko first, and then not giving him the food. But I'll find that out later on. So otherwise, I'll be back tomorrow in the afternoon at 3 o'clock usual time. And yeah, I haven't decided what I'll be starting into. I'm feeling at the minute Code Vein is a likely option. Because Pokemon I still want to do some grinding on. But, until then, thank you so much for coming along. I really hope you enjoyed. And until next time I see you, hope you have a great day, have a good evening, and goodbye.